Hello, I hope you're doing well, and in today's video, I will be reviewing Max Payne 3. Before we begin, if you would like to see more content like this, then please like and subscribe. As usual, I will start off with the story, and these are not my words, and I will link the synopsis in the description down below. 9 years after the events of Max Payne 2, the fall of Max Payne, Max finds himself living a degenerative lifestyle, addicted to painkillers and alcohol in the city of Sao Paulo, Brazil. While trying to forget the past that haunts him, employed by real estate mogul Rodrigo Branco, Max works in private security, protecting the wealthy Branco family. But as things go wrong and Rodrigo's wife Fabiana is kidnapped, Max is forced into a deadly new conflict, while relying on the abilities he attained from the experiences of the past he left behind. The story for this game was much easier to follow than the first two games. I want to be very clear though, that this does not mean that I didn't like the stories of Max Payne 1 and 2. I just found it easier to follow the storyline in this game than I did in those games. I really enjoyed this story. It felt gritty, and it just felt more real. To be honest, Max Payne 3 would be an amazing movie. This video game felt like I was playing a movie with a controller. It was kind of weird and kind of hard to explain, but it felt like I was controlling a movie. I don't have much to say about the sound in this game, but what I do want to talk about is the soundtrack. The soundtrack is just so good. The different varieties of music fit the storyline as well as the locations perfectly. The music fits the overall atmosphere of certain locations, and it just adds more to the atmosphere, especially because the music fits so well. And Max Payne 3 does that so well. The graphics are a major upgrade over its predecessors. Obviously the graphics are going to be better, because Max Payne 3 was released 10 years after Max Payne 2, so obviously there's going to be a noticeable difference in graphics. For 2012, the graphics in this game were incredible. All of the little details, for instance, when you shoot at enemies, you can see the bullet holes, and it's pretty brutal when you shoot some of the enemies in the head. The environments are also very well done, including the physics as well as the little details, and that just adds to the experience. Little things that I enjoyed were the way glass breaks, and when you're in the offices of buildings, that papers go flying when they're shot at. Here's a fun fact. When Bully 2 was being developed, they were trying out this new physics for how windows break. Unfortunately, Bully 2 never came to be, but the physics for the windows and how they were broken were actually used in Max Payne 3. I just find it amazing how good the graphics were in this game. There's not much to say about content, but there is more than there was in the previous games. One added feature that I like personally is the fact that there are pieces of golden guns in each level. You might be asking, what's the point in collecting these? Well, there actually is a very good reason to collect them. So depending on which weapon that will be upgraded, you will either need 3 to 4 pieces to fully assemble a golden gun. After you have these fully assembled, it'll actually change the color of the gun to solid gold and increase the weapon's damage by 10%. These golden pieces are very well hidden, so keep your eyes open. I like the fact that these collectibles actually do change your gameplay for the better, and aren't just an added thing to collect. There are also clues around each level. These clues are also another collectible to keep your eye out for, if you want all of your achievements. With these clues, you learn more of a backstory to the story itself. You don't win anything if you get them all, but at least you get some more story out of it. In my opinion, the gameplay is fantastic. The gameplay is much different from its predecessors, but that's not a bad thing. There is a new cover system that works very well in this game, and is very handy as well. Bullet time returns as well, but it's a mix of both the first Max Payne and the second Max Payne. So you have normal bullet time, where you slow down time, and you can pick off your enemies one by one. This is very helpful for shooting enemies in the head. There is actually another button to do bullet time, where you jump out of the way instead. I really like the fact that slowing down time and jumping out of the way are done with two different buttons. It adds more variety to gameplay, and it doesn't force you to play a certain way. I would also like to mention that Max Payne 3's aiming system and cover system feels a lot like Grand Theft Auto 5. I'm assuming I'm not going nuts, because I'm saying this because Grand Theft Auto 5 has been in development alongside Max Payne 3. I just find it really cool how some games from the same company can feel similar in many aspects, and it's really neat to see. I'm now going to give my opinion about certain parts of this game, and I have only one complaint, and this complaint is a very big complaint. As you know, I played this game on PC, because I get the extra frame rate, as well as better quality, and I definitely did get that out of the game. The one big problem though, that I got from the game was a massive bug. You might not think this is a big deal for you, but it is a big deal. Especially since I was recording the gameplay, so it's very hard to edit the video in the end. What this problem was the fact that the game will randomly pause. This was so annoying to me. It actually was distracting. It was so bad. This would happen during cutscenes, during gameplay, no matter where you were, it would just happen randomly. I think the worst part about it was that it happened randomly. There was never specific times when it happened. I went online and found about 3 solutions, and I'll go through them now and I'll give you the results. The first option was to go into your computer's registry and turn off something, and I did that, and it helped the game play for about 2 hours, and then the pausing started to happen again. So I went to step 2. Step 2 was that I had to unplug all my USB devices, and that did also work, but only for a few hours. So what I did next was I was told to disable all my audio devices but the speakers that I was using. This idea did not work at all. What is another way to do it was provided by Rockstar games themselves. Besides the USB unplugging, and it was way too complicated even for me, and I know a lot about computers. I think the issue stems from the fact that certain programs are constantly refreshing, and the game sees this stuff refreshing, and it thinks it needs to pause the game. The best way I can describe it is that if you're playing a game in full screen mode, and you click off of the screen, it pauses the game. That's basically what it's doing. What frustrates me the most about this is that Rockstar has not fixed it. Back in 2012, they admitted that they knew what the problem was, and that they were going to fix it shortly. As you can tell, the game was released in 2012. It's now 2022. It's been 10 years. To have a glitch like this still in the game is pretty bad, and unfortunately, they probably will never fix it. I'm surprised though that nobody has tried to fix it themselves through the code, but that's not really a big deal. I'm gonna have to say, Max Payne 3 for me personally is the best game out of all of them. Don't get me wrong, Max Payne 1 and 2 are still incredible games that I will always love, but for me, Max Payne 3 tops them all. The story is incredible and easy to understand, and they also incorporate the past stories. The graphics are a huge boost, and the gameplay has a major upgrade. Does this game feel different than the past 2 games? Yes. Is that bad? No, definitely not. If you've got a spare $30 to spend on Steam, then please buy this game. You will not regret it, trust me. Okay everybody, thank you all so much for watching this video. In the next video, I will be talking about my summer plans for this channel. Anyways, Thank you all so much for watching, and see you in the next video.